It was so much easier this time though, Kushi,
My
with setting
God,
everything up
yeah.
and
I
logging on
know.
this time. We were testing this. We started up with a new system for webinars, and we were trying it out last week, and we're really
It's
happy
not so
we did the
smooth
test.
sailing as today. So this is good. This is really good.
This is why we have to do tests. We have to test everything out. But a bunch of things, I don't know, Kushi, if you actually know, but a bunch of things actually ended up failing for me today, though. As soon as we started, we had to move the office in last minute. Then there was no internet. Then there was internet. Then the internet wasn't stable. So we went through so many different things. And at this point, I was
Oh
just like, you
no.
know what? Everything has failed. So it's perfect.
It's
It's right before the webinar.
quite a chaotic day for you, Kat. I wish I could relate, but I've been having a pretty slow, good day so far. It stopped snowing, which is great. But yeah, I, I, good thing my morning wasn't as chaotic as yours, but at least we're here now. We made it.
Yeah,
It's running
exactly.
smoothly, so that's going good.
Exactly. Although I gotta be honest, like I love the snow, so actually I'm kind of jealous. I
You
kind
know
of
what,
miss
Kat? Grass is always greener on the other side. I do not
exactly,
like snow as much as you. I wish I could relate. I really wish I do.
exactly.
So,
All right. Okay. So we did. There's a few people still joining in. There's actually quite a lot of people actually on the list. There's a lot of people already here, so we're actually not gonna. I don't think we're gonna wait any longer. Just because we are a little bit tight with time. So hopefully this is going to be recorded, of course. So if anyone misses anything in the first few minutes, they're going to be able to catch up. And anyways, if anyone isn't able to make it, they're able to watch the video after. So welcome you guys, and thank you so much, first of all, for being so interested in the actual office hours concept of vacation tracker. This is the first time we're doing something like this. We did a couple of webinars in the past, and we decided to start doing something like this where we're basically talking about different pieces of vacation tracker, how you can improve using vacation tracker, improve maybe visibility inside of your organization using vacation tracker, and just maybe talking about some of the topics that aren't really commonly brought up, in the articles or the YouTube videos or during the demos and the calls. And also the whole point of the office hours isn't just to kind of talk, today we're going to be talking about basics of vacation tracker, but we have a bunch of other topics that we want to bring up in the future. We want to do this monthly, if especially since we can see that everyone is obviously interested in the office hours concept. So we want to talk about in the future about maybe specific features, maybe a core, the different plans, core plan versus complete plan. And to show some of the additional features we have in the complete plan, we want to talk about some specific features, like I said, like accruals, or even notifications. And the whole point of office hours isn't just for us to talk, although everyone says that I do love to talk. So, but it isn't just about it isn't just about me talking. It's more about you guys also being able to ask questions, and ask questions either about, ideally about the topic we're talking about right now, but also anything additional that may come to mind. Basically, you have us for this next 30 minutes to talk about vacation trackers. So just to get you guys a little bit familiar with the platform we're currently using, it's called Zoho Webinar, and you guys have a Q&A section where you can send out a question at any point throughout the call. And this is perfectly okay. I'm going to be talking about the basics of vacation tracker. I'm going to be sharing the screen. And if you have any questions, we're going to go through the questions after the quick presentation of everything, and the demo basically that we're going to talk about. And then we're going to go through all of your questions one by one. I'm going to answer them because she's going to write out the answer. If we run out of time or anything like that, or if we don't if we aren't able to answer everyone's questions for whatever reason, although we're going to try our best to, we're going to send you guys an email after the webinar, and we have everyone's names and everyone's email addresses, so we'll let you guys know via email for any additional answers. And the Q&A isn't just for maybe something that I'm going to be talking about or showing on vacation tracker. If it's something related, if you thought of another question that you want to ask, feel free to send a message. Again, we'll go through that. We also have a polls section. You can see that also on the left hand side, where you are able to see 2 3 polls that we're actually going to release throughout the call today, because she's going to play them, and you're going to be able to answer and kind of either vote or put a comment on the questions. There is going to be a question regarding future topics that you would like to hear about. If for whatever reason we didn't put something in those answers that you would like to hear about and you have your own idea, feel free to just put that in the Q&A section as well. Okay. And then of course I think everyone's already familiar with the many emoji buttons that we have there. Use that as well. Okay. So the basics of vacation tracker, what are we going to talk about today is basically just the core of vacation tracker. What are users going to be doing every single day? What are some of the error messages they may be receiving? What do the approvers see? What do the admins see? And what are they able to do? So this is kind of, we're basically pretending, well, not so much since we also use vacation tracker, but we're basically pretending that we're the user, we're requesting some leaves, and we're going to show what can happen inside of the online dashboard. I do want to clarify, we're going to be showing everything inside of the online dashboard today. We're not going to be going into the Microsoft Teams and the Slack bot, but we're going to very quickly cover just maybe I'm probably going to take a couple of minutes to just show kind of what the bots look like in Microsoft Teams and Slack, um, just to just to show some of the information that we showed already on the online dashboard inside of the bots themselves. But we're also going to have calls specifically for Microsoft Teams and specifically for Slack Teams as well. That are going to be more focused on the actual bot and the integration. So we want to focus on the online dashboard and really the core functionality of Vacation Tracker today. That being said, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. Once I share my screen, everyone just feel free to throw a like if you're able to see everything, and we'll go from there. All right, thank you so much. Great. Okay, so so we're going to start off in the actual online dashboard. Shyla from our support team was very kind to lend me her account, her demo account. So we're going to pretend we're Shyla right now, and this is what a user is going to see in the basic online dashboard. They have some limitations. You can see, by the way, on the screen right now that I'm sharing that we actually have two different windows open, where I am a admin and an approver on one, and I am just a regular user on the other. And we're going to go through piece by piece, but first we're going to start off kind of with the most important role, and that really is the user, since everyone is the user role, and that is really where the core vacation tracker is. So this is the online dashboard. You guys know it very well. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I'm going to act as if I'm requesting a leave, and that I need to take some time off. So it would be very simple. I would click on request leave, and I would select the leave types that I'm able to see. Depending on my location, I am able to see, of course, the leave types that are assigned to the location that I belong to. And depending on the settings that the admin set, I'm able to see different versions of that leave type. To explain that in a little bit more detail, that's as an example, pay time off. We can see pay time off and pay time off hourly. We can see sick day and sick day half day. So that means that I am able to take a full day and full days of pay time off, and I'm able to take maybe just an hour or two of a specific leave type if that's what the admin settings have been set up inside of my location for that specific leave type. Um, so when we're requesting a leave, we would select through the leave type, and we would find a date. We're going to go through some of the error messages that we may see in these cases, and some of these messages we receive from some users a lot of times in our support chat. So that's why we're actually bringing this up. So we're going to select a date, for example, that maybe falls on a holiday, and a user just may not know this. They may forget, or they may not be aware of the fact that a holiday is upcoming. So what's going to happen when we request? We're going to send out the request, and we're going to receive an error message. It's going to let us know that there's a leave submit error, that I've either selected a holiday or a non-working day. Now, in this case, what can also happen is I can have a custom working week, for example. So if you see something like this, and a user's letting you know that, it's a non-working day and they're selecting, let's say, a Monday or something like that, but you know that you guys work Monday to Friday, there's a chance that a user actually has a customized working week on their profile. We've seen this also happen, where the customized working week for that user is Tuesday to Saturday, and so they're of course not able to select a non-working day because that day already doesn't count um, inside of the calculation for their time off. So this is one of those errors that you may notice. Another error that we may notice, and some of the questions that we have also, is for a date that the user has already requested. So this also sometimes happens with some users where they're maybe planning ahead and they're putting in a lot of leaves at the beginning of the year. We see this with some companies, and they may actually forget that they already put in some leave dates. So they may send out a request and they're going to receive another error message. In this case, they're receiving a different error message, letting them know that the dates they've chosen is overlapping with an existing leave. In this case, what the user can do is, it's very simple. They can actually do this themselves. It doesn't have to be anything that an approver or an admin actually does. They can go into their profile page. They can go under the leaves, and they can choose to either edit the dates for that leave or they can cancel. So let's say that they just want to edit the dates because they're actually going to be, maybe working remotely on a different date, but they want to pay time off on that day. So we're going to switch the dates. We're going to click on edit leave, and that request is going to be, of course, sent over to the approver of that user. In this case, the edited leave that the user edited is actually auto approved. So nothing needs to actually be done. And then we also have now the option to, again, request a leave. And now we can select the date that we selected before. Okay. So we're going to request the leave, and the leave is going to be confirmed on our end. And on the right hand side, we're also going to see a message for the approver as well that there has been a leave requested. But from the user's standpoint, this is what the user sees, and their request has been sent out. And so these are some of the basics that may happen. User can also cancel a leave in case it's something that they've either changed their mind, or it's not something that's or something changed for that date. So they can very simply do that on their profile page. I do want to mention, just since I know from the list of everyone who registered, that we do have a lot of people from Microsoft Teams and from Slack on this call as well. Your users can do the cancellations inside of the bots as well. So this isn't something that they have to go into the online dashboard for. But of course, for everyone all across the board and for all of the integrations, this is something that you can do inside of the online dashboard itself. So when you're
Before you move to the next part of your magic, I just have a question from in the comments. Yemena is asking, how do you set date ranges?
How do we set date ranges? So this is something, and this is something that I'm hoping I understand well, and let me know if I'm misunderstanding the question, but I'm assuming that we're talking about date ranges that are showing up in the calendar. So this is something that a user can choose themselves. It's not something that's kind of automatically set when it comes down to the date range. The calendar is fully unlocked that you can set any of the dates that you choose, and that's for any of the users. We're coincidentally now choosing specific dates so that I can show you some of the error messages that happen. But realistically speaking, any future dates are, of course, available to request. And even if in the settings, the admins have allowed requesting leaves in the past, which is a setting that an admin would have to enable, a user can actually go into the past and request a leave as well. And again, this is something that we left as an additional setting. So that would have to be additionally set inside of the settings. Okay. So when it comes down to the date range, that's completely unlocked. I mean, that's not something that we actually make any constraints on. The only thing inside of the date ranges is that our system in the back does recognize, hey, it's a holiday. Hey, this is already a date that you've requested once you've actually applied for those dates. You may have actually noticed when we were requesting a leave, and we'll just try this out again. When we were requesting a leave, there was also an add to a calendar option. when we sent it out, and when the leave is approved, that's also something we'll notice. So we're actually going to go in here and we're going to approve Shai's leave, and the user receives this confirmation, and there's an add to a calendar button. So as you guys already know, we do have a calendar sync. On the left hand side, there's a calendar page, and we have a calendar sync that actually you can use to sync to any external calendar. But it is a visual only. So in the information that actually syncs is just visual information from our calendar that syncs into an external calendar. It doesn't actually book any time off in your calendar. For now, what users can do is when they receive the approval to their request, they can actually click this button, add to a calendar, and it will take, and they can choose which calendar, of course, they need to add this to. And they can actually add that information straight into their calendar and book that time off. I do also want to mention, since we're talking about this right now, that there is an upcoming improvement. We want to call it an improvement, but I think it's going to be um, quite a great additional feature where it's going to be a higher calendar integration. Basically, what it's going to mean is that users will be able to connect their personal calendars to vacation tracker and actually automatically book that time off in their calendar if they'd like. So they won't anymore have to click this button to kind of make the manual addition into their calendar. They'll be able to connect straight into vacation tracker and actually have that leave information added straight into their calendar, and they can even choose, am I busy during this time for this specific leave type, or is this one of those leave types where I'm not busy but it just needs to be noted on my calendar, such as working remotely. It's a good example of that. So this is the example of the user profile, what they're going to be doing. We've gone through a few things. These are really the basics. This is usually what a user will do when they're requesting a leave. They of course are able to see their profile page, take a look at their quota, plan ahead, see the different leave types that they have availability, that they have the quota for, and then of course take a look at the calendar and the holidays. There is some limitation, as you guys all probably already know, when it comes down to the different roles. Users are not able to see private information such as other users' profile pages. They can't see any pending requests, as you guys probably already saw in the online dashboard. And also, of course, they're also blocked to see any hidden leave types that we can hide, which is something that again admins can set up inside of the leave type section. Okay. And the holidays that the user sees inside of the online dashboard is the holiday attached to their location. So if you have multiple locations and the user belongs to that location, that is where the holidays are going to be, and that's the holidays that they're going to be able to see. Now, that being said, we do have weekly, daily notifications that you guys can send out. We're going to see that next in the as an approver, and the daily and weekly notifications that can be automatically sent out include information about upcoming leave, current and upcoming leave, approved upcoming leave, and any holidays for, and you can then choose to show holidays for all of the locations inside of those notifications. But that's a little bit different. That's something where you're able to see then the holidays for other locations as well. Another section where users can see holidays for other locations, that's something we've also been asked in support as well, is under the calendar section. They can even filter by locations and maybe take a look at a specific location and the upcoming holidays. And also, of course, on the dashboard as well. So this is something they can also see on any of for any of the different locations. Now this is the user role. We're gonna make Shyla now into an approver so that we can see what an approver is able to see. To make Shyla an approver, it's very simple. We would actually just go into a department and we would set Shyla up as an approver of one of the departments or multiple departments. So we're gonna go into one of these departments. We're going to edit. We're going to add Shy. Good since I removed her before this call. So so
She's
we're
gonna
gonna
appreciate
fix,
that.
yeah, so we're gonna fix what I was doing before this. All right, so we've now added Shy back into one of the departments. She's now an approver. Now you're gonna see a change when we refresh the page. She's actually gonna have a few more options now on the left-hand side. She's gonna have a users page where she sees the users that she is an approver of. And of course, she's actually able to go into the users page and see their information. She's limited because she's only an approver currently, so she can't edit any of the settings that the admin can. But she as is able to add a leave for the user. For example, if it's something that the user forgot to add, or they don't have a chance to add, this is something that she can add as an approver as well, and the days would automatically be added. In this case, there's no approval that needs to be done because she is that user's approver. So the only thing that's going to happen when we click on add leave, well, first of all, Kat's going to hope that she didn't select a date that's already been used, because we're going to see an error message. But after we check that it hasn't been already a used day, once it's actually added into Aria's profile, what's going to happen is the user is just going to be notified of the leave, and of course, any other approvers will also be notified that the leave has been added for the user. So there's no approval needed when you're adding a leave. This is the same if you're using the drop down add leave option on the left hand side. And so again, we see that information and we see that leave information here inside of the leaves tabs on the user's profile page. I also want to mention, which I think is really important, when we're adding leave for the users, you do have the ability to add more days than they actually have. So you can kind of override that limit as an approver or as an admin when you're adding leaves. Okay, and here we also have another piece that's really important. Approvers will most of the time really be focused on possibly the calendar, taking a look at their own departments, who's going to be away, being able to maybe to maybe have a clear overview what they can plan, whether it's planning projects or anything like that. And this is also really useful, especially if you are able to use the label option in our complete plan. So we do have, sorry guys, one second please. There we go. We do have the label option inside of the complete plan and vacation tracker, which gives you, so inside of Vacation Tracker, you can now filter according to locations and according to departments in the core plan. In the complete plan, we give you the additional option of labels. The reason why we introduced this is so that we can give you another level of filtering inside of the system. A lot of the larger teams tend to use the labels option because they're able to, as an example, create a label that's called project. And it's going to be a project that various different departments work on. And then they use this label to actually take a look at whether it's a calendar, whether it's a dashboard, so that they can kind of take a look at who's going to be away and who's working on that project, so they can plan a little bit better. And it also helps out, especially in the case of notifications. So if it's something where an approver wants to create a notification, they can actually create a notification specifically for that project, maybe send it out to a channel or to an email address, and even include the client that they're working with. And they can actually use the filter to find the project that they're working on, name the notification as necessary, send it out, whether it's daily, whether they want to create a weekly notification, and send it out either to a channel or to an email. Now, in the cases of Microsoft Teams and Slack, you guys will always see channel and email as an option. In the case of Google and email only integrations, you're only going to see the email option. And again, you can choose to send this notification over to a channel and to an email address. And an email address can be a group email address. It can be something like support at, or again, it can even be the client's email address if a client wants to be notified of who's going to be away from the teams that are working with that client. So again, this is something that's a little bit more. It's a little bit maybe different than what we usually talk about inside of our demos, and it's a little bit more specific for. And it's a little bit different than how you would usually use Vacation Tracker, I think. Something in a little bit more detail. So this is something also that can be sent out. Again, when it comes to the notifications, daily and weekly notifications, I'm not going to go into too much detail. You guys probably already know all about that, and we're actually going to even maybe focus on notifications themselves in one of our office hours specifically. So I'm going to just move on from the approval role, and I'm going to switch over to the admin. So the admin is that one step higher from the approval role. It's the highest role we currently have within Vacation Tracker, and it's actually where a role where you are able to edit all of the settings within Vacation Tracker, and you are able to make all of the changes that you guys have seen so far. Um, this is I have to be honest, when it comes down to the admin role, it's not a role that really needs to do something every day within Vacation Tracker. Realistically speaking, an admin is probably there to maybe import a new employee into the system, which is something that they would do on the users page. Maybe set up the user in the correct department, in the correct location that they're supposed to be in. So this is something that would be done by an admin inside of Vacation Tracker as a kind of a common and a basic action by an admin. So, and this is something again that would be quite simple to do, something that you guys may have already done um, inside of your own account. But this is something that these are all the changes that an admin can make. So they can change the roles of the user, they can set up which department they belong to. Currently the user was added and they're automatically added into a default department in a default location. So the admin is there to kind of to either approve and say, okay, well, they're supposed to be in that department, or move them to a different department that they're supposed to be in, and maybe and also edit their employee sense date if it's a different date from the one that has been automatically set within Vacation Tracker. So this is something that there would be an update on as well. Something also that an admin would probably do within Vacation Tracker, and that's the export. So within Vacation Tracker, we're able to see the export of the different types of reports. The leave request report gives us a breakdown of all of the leave requests that were sent out. The leave balance report gives us a breakdown of the amount of days that were given to the users and the amount that had been used. So the leave balance report is probably the most commonly used because it helps out with the payroll. It lets you know, okay, well, this is how many days have been used so far. And it also helps out with something additional that we've noticed in Vacation Tracker in the past couple of years. We've noticed that a lot more admins have been letting us know that the leave balance report is being used to double check that people are actually taking leave. Because again, we've noticed that there's more of a tendency to kind of forget to take your leave, and so what they're using leave balance report is basically to make sure that people are actually requesting leave and that they're actually taking that time off. And I can't say I'm surprised. I'm one of those people too that doesn't tend to use my days properly. So I understand kind of where that's coming from, and that's basically the overview of the three roles and the basics that we have in Vacation Tracker. Now, Kushi, you already asked one question. I think that at this point we can already go into the Q&A section, and we can go
Perfect.
through one by one.
There's been a bunch of new questions in the time that you were talking, so I think we'll
Okay.
take it one by one.
Yep.
The last question we answered was Jimenez. So she said, thank you for hers. Next one is by Diane. Can a user cancel slash change a leave once the date has passed? Or will the admin have to do this?
Yeah, if the date has passed, if the date has passed and the leave is already over, they won't be able to cancel. They won't be able to cancel it because it's already going to be in their history. If you want to remove it, an admin's going to actually have to go into the user's profile page and have to delete that leave for that user. Um, but an admin can also edit that leave in the past. I do want to also mention that a user can technically edit that leave in the past if you allow the setting inside of the leave policy for that leave type. So if you allow the editing in the past, and the requesting in the past, it's all the same setting. So if you actually allow that setting, they will be able to do that. But I gotta be honest, that setting isn't always used. There's companies that don't like to use that option. So in that case, it would be the admin who's doing that. So could you go
There we
ahead
go. Yeah,
and
I
you
think
answer
I
that?
shared.
We're gonna
Yep, that's
jump
taken
over to the
care of.
next one.
So the
Um,
next one's by Josh. Are there
okay.
plans to make it easy to take 1.5 days off in a single request?
Yes. Yes. Josh, yes. Yes, this is something that's been requested quite a bit. And we're definitely going to do something like this. we have it on the roadmap, and we want to make sure that not even just 1.5 day off for companies that are actually using the hourly option where you're able to take maybe 3 hours off or 6 hours off, which is a feature in our complete plan. We want to be able to kind of mix and match all of those options. So yeah, that's for sure.
That's good. The next question is by Summer. She says, "Can you assign leaf type by user or is it just by location?"
No, so the leaf type is tied just straight to the location at this time. But Summer, if there is a specific reason that you guys are asking about the leaf type being assigned to a user, we would love to hear about it. So definitely, if you'd like, you can also write a message here in the Q&A, but you can also send us an email to hello@vacationtracker.io and let us know kind of just the use case. Um, if it's something that sometimes it happens that maybe we're working on a feature, or maybe there's something else we can do to make something like this happen and resolve the problem. So definitely let us know via email or through the messages, and we'll review it as well.
Hope that's good, Summer. The next question is by Marcia. She says, "Could you share when the add to calendar feature will be available?"
I'm assuming Marcia, we're talking about the automated one rather than the manual one. The manual one is available already now. The users can actually see that right now. If they're using the online dashboard, they will see it as soon as their request has been approved, or if it's auto approved, they're going to see it right away. If you're using the Microsoft Teams app or the Slack app, you're also going to see the users are also going to see that when their request is approved. That's the manual option. If we're talking about the automated one, we're sincerely hoping that it's going to be released Q2 or Q3 of in this year.
Yes, that's good. Then the next question is by Diana, and she says, "Is it possible to change the color of the statutory holidays for more prominent colors?" So
Not
I'm
at this
assuming
time, not
not
at
right
this
now.
time, Diana. But it's not the first time we're hearing of this question, so we may start allowing that edit as well. We'll definitely note it, and we'll see if this is something we can do in the future.
Perfect. Then the next question is by Diane again. "Can certain religious holidays be added to specific users?"
No, you can't add a holiday to a user. It's still tied to a location. But I can understand where this question may be coming from. We do have a lot of teams that are in countries where there's, of course, different religious holidays that are respected in that one location. So if that's the reason, let us know. If there's another reason why you would be tying a holiday to a specific user, also let us know. Same as I mentioned in the other answer, either through the Q&A or via email, so that we can see if that's something we can kind of help out with in the future. Maybe as a workaround, you can create a leaf type. This is something I've seen a few companies do, and something that we've advised as a possible workaround, where you create a leaf type that's called holiday. You can even hide the leaf type name if you'd like, and then allow either a quota or set the quota at 0, and then allow the users to apply for a negative balance of that leaf type. Basically, what that would do is you're allowing the users to request that leaf type, and you're counting how many days they're using, and they can actually even write a reason and write the holiday name and the reason to kind of make that clear as to what day they're taking. So that's a possibility. That's something we've seen happen inside of VT.
So I hope that's good. For Diane, the next question is by Janine. She says, "How do I set the leave to calculate slash accrue from 1st Jan to the end of December per year? Currently, it calculates from the employee's start date." It's Janine from South Africa. Hi,
Yes.
Janine from South Africa.
So and yeah, and again, South Africa. I mean, I'm really impressed that so many people
I
from so many different
know.
places are joining the call, and it makes me so happy. Okay, so um, yes, you can definitely actually edit this, Janine. We're gonna send you an email. We have the email address that you registered with, so we'll send you an email to explain how to do that in the steps. You can do this. I do want to give a slight warning though. When you're making this kind of change, it's going to affect the calculation that you're going to see in the user profile pages. So the current calculation is done based on the fact that you guys had the employee start date settings. Once you make the change to January 1st to December, what's going to happen is you're going to see the correct calculation, but it's going to look very different, right? Because you're calculating different dates. If you guys are okay with that, that's perfectly okay. But just a little bit of a heads up and a little bit of a warning when making any of these kind of large changes. You can do them, but be very, very careful. The calculations will always be correct, but they're going to be different from the setting you had before.
And the next question is Jimena again. So she says, in Argentina, holidays legal period starts in October. Is it possible to set the quota renewal to this month instead of January?
Course. You can choose. So that's the accounting start year. This is a setting for the admins inside of any of the locations. And again, we'll definitely email you the steps when you're actually setting up the accounting year, the fiscal year. That is actually the renewal date, and you can set any date, any month, any day. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be January 1st. It can be October as well, as you mentioned.
Perfect. So the next question is by Shauna. What does the user see after you've added them?
So it depends if you have actually set up a setting, which I think I'm still sharing my screen, so I'm actually going to just really quickly show that setting. So if you have allowed the option to announce new users about Vacation Tracker, when you're adding the user and you're importing the user, they're going to receive a message, whether it's via email or whether it's via a bot, whether you're using Microsoft Teams or Slack, and they're going to be introduced to Vacation Tracker. And that message is just a very kind of short message explaining what Vacation Tracker is and how they can easily use it. That being said, we do have an improvement even for our import that's upcoming in the next couple of weeks, where when you're importing users, you're going to be able to choose if you send an announcement to these users about Vacation Tracker right away, if you don't want to announce right when you're importing the user. So this is something um, that's going to be kind of an improvement. You're going to have a little bit more control rather than just having the automated setting, although the automated setting will still stay there.
So hopefully that answered Shauna's question. Let us know via email if you need any more further clarification on that. Doing the thumbs up is her, so we're good. Next is Imran. He says, is there a way to disable dashboard access for specific users?
Not at this time. Not at this time. Everyone is able to access the dashboard. It's just that their role, as you guys already saw when I was showing all of the different roles, the settings depend um, on your role, and we can't turn that off. But this is again one of those questions where I would say send us an email, let us know, or answer in the Q&A why that would be something that would be important for you guys, and why um, you would need something like this. Because if it's some sort of privacy setting, maybe it's something we're going to introduce in the future. um, but at this time, everyone's able to access the dashboard. It's just the view depends on their role.
Perfect. So the next question is by Diane again. He says, can a full day vacation be booked together with a half day vacation? I think this is very similar to what Josh asked earlier. So
Yeah, so
yeah,
as as Josh asked, and I answered very, very happily, we were definitely gonna introduce this in the future. It's on the roadmap, so we'll for sure keep that in mind.
perfect. So the next question is by Susan. She says, we have a lot of approvers who say they miss the notifications in the chat function when an employee requests time off for their approval. So she then has to go into the back end to enter and approve the request once it expires. Is there a way to turn on an email setting so the request is emailed instead?
So there's we're actually going to introduce kind of a new notification system for these types of requests, where it's a reminder for the approvers that a leave is still pending. And we kind of hope that this is going to help out with these kind of cases. So if you do have a lot of requests and you forget to approve, or you forget to respond to one, that feature will basically send out a reminder to the approvers to let them know that they need to respond to that request. And we're gonna work on this reminders feature. We're hoping actually this year. This is something we want to introduce, and those reminders will be sent out. We're not really sure right now in details of how it would work, but they would for sure receive at least one or two reminders to kind of push them to respond to the request itself. As for the email setting, so that the request is emailed, this is also something that we can definitely look into. I can understand it's basically, I'm assuming you guys are either using Microsoft Teams or Slack, and you guys are receiving the requests through the bot. So in this case, we can see if this is something that will also be able to introduce even for the Microsoft Teams and the Slack users. Because right now, Google and email, of course, receive all of the requests via email. So this, I don't think it's something that we can probably also introduce in the future.
Perfect. So moving on to Shauna, can an approver cancel or re-add a leave that is passed, or does it always have to be an admin?
So an approver can as well. An approver can as well, but because it does override any of the settings anyways, but they have to be the approver of that user. They can't just do it for any of the users just because they're an approver. They have to be an approver of that user to be able to actually go into the user's profile page um, and add a leave in the past.
So hopefully that answered Shauna's question. Let us know by reacting with a thumbs up. Another question by Shauna, will there be an option to change the brought forward amount every year? I know it's an option only after the first year with vacation tracker. So
So this is something that we have discussed for sure. Regarding the brought forward amount, there's a reason why we actually keep it locked for all the future years. You are able to edit it for the first year, but the reason why is if, for example, you're moving from either a manual system or from a different automated system into vacation tracker, you need to probably plug in the brought forward days that the users had from that other system. So we've enabled it for the first year. However, for all of the future years, it's automated, and it's an automated calculation. And if we now allow a change for the brought forward, next year's calculation is going to next year's numbers and the previous year numbers are going to look different, and it won't look like an automated calculation, and it can actually confuse a lot of people quite a bit. So if there's a specific reason why you guys have to change the brought forward amount every year, it would be great for us to understand the reason behind it, so that we can see if there's maybe something else that we would do rather than taking away the automation of the brought forward.
hopefully that answered Shauna's question. Again, as usual, please reach out in case. Okay, I see a thumbs up, so we're good. Okay, perfect. So another question by Marcia. She says, we made a feature request last July for approvers to appear as part of the scheduling conflicts. We are currently experiencing issues where approvers of group cannot see scheduling conflicts between their own leave requests and that of the members of the group as well. However, when adding the approvers as a member of the group, it generates self-approval capabilities, which causes inequity and notification issues for the entire department. So are there any updates on this? She
Yes.
asks.
Yes. So Marcia, I remember the request, and we actually had a conversation about it. This is something we want to definitely improve on. Um, Ideally, this is something that we would improve on this year. We've already talked about it. The idea of, and just to clarify to everyone else, but I think Marcia actually cleared it up quite a bit. Right now, when you're actually adding the approver inside of a department, they are then their own approver. They're able to respond to their own request. Basically, but in Marcia's case, they also want notifications that include this department to also include that approver. So they can't actually just remove that approver from the department itself. So they have that issue there. Definitely something we're going to work on. We're gonna look into it already. We're looking into it this year, and ideally something we would like to release this year. The thing with the feature requests, I think, is something that's also important to mention. When we have a lot of feature requests, you'd be surprised. I mean, even with just the amount of people that are already in the call, we have a lot of feature requests that come in, and the way that we organize them and the way that we look at them is the kind of the number one priority always falls into something that is related to any type of laws that kind of have to be respected. And since we work with teams, as you guys already probably heard, with teams all over the world, that's something where we have to make sure that a feature is matching different laws, different regulations, and they can be edited and customized so that other teams can also use that feature. So that's kind of our priority. And then we kind of go into basically a voting section where we count the feature requests. We keep track of all of the feature requests in the system, and then we see what is the highest feature request and how much time it's going to take, and how much and how quickly we're able to make it, and then how we can also match it to other teams. So just a quick heads up for anyone that does send out a feature request. We definitely keep track of all of them. We definitely want to get to all of them, but it is also really important for us to be able to kind of organize it. This is one of those feature requests that we have discussed and that we want to actually introduce sooner than later.
Perfect. Hopefully that answers Marcia's question. Again, you know the drill. Thumbs up is good. Perfect. There we go. So again, I think you briefly touched upon this, Cat, but Susan says that our approvers are missing the notifications of PDO requests. Is there a way to notify them when there's a request that they haven't been approved for yet? A reminder of some sort. So I think you touched upon this
Yeah.
briefly before as well.
Yeah, so
Um,
basically just we're planning to introduce basically reminders, exactly what you're referring to. That's the goal.
Perfect. All right. So another question by Josh. Is there a setting to automatically increase allowances based on years of service?
That's actually a setting that's actually a feature that we're actually working on right now. It's going to be called well, this is what we're calling it internally. We're not sure if this is how it's going to be called, but we're calling it seniority based accruals. And basically, you're going to be able to set up the vacation tracker. You're going to be able to set up a setting in vacation tracker to set, okay, this is how much the users earn based on this many years of service. So for every 3 years, add another 3 days, or every 7 years, add another 5 days, and this will be automated inside of the system. So for sure, actually something we're working on. It's going to be part of the complete plan. Just a little bit of a heads up, and hopefully will be released in the next couple of months.
Perfect. And then Diane, again, apologies if I'm pronouncing any name wrong. Let me know if the right way to pronounce it in the Q&A section. But Diane asks, are there any new user links available to send out to new users?
We do have a couple of new links. I'm not sure if you've already seen them, but something that we've created actually is also available on their profile pages inside of sorry in the online dashboard inside of Vacation Tracker. So if they take a look at, for example, for their roles, they're able to click on the little question mark and click on the learn more, and they'll actually be taken to a Canva file that gives them a breakdown of that role and everything that they're able to do. We have all three roles covered in a help desk article, and we have Canva files for all three of those roles. And the files basically include a very short presentation of the role, what they're able to do, and short videos of how to do each of those. So you can actually check that out. It's in our help desk, but we can also actually send it out to you after the call. Um, Either today or tomorrow, expect an email from us with those links. And if there's anything else though that you want us to, if you have any feedback regarding other options, other ideas that you would like us to send out that will help out the users, definitely let us know. If you maybe think maybe a video will be more helpful or anything like that, definitely let us know, and we'll see if we can make something a little bit more useful for you guys' team.
So the next question is by Imran again. He says, any clue when it will be possible to prevent certain users from accessing the dashboard, which I think we touched upon before. He says, I've reached out to the chat support regarding this, but didn't get a positive response.
I'm gonna
So
yeah, I'm gonna have to say you probably won't like this response either right now, because it's gonna be y- I'm not sure if this is something that we're gonna introduce anytime soon, realistically speaking. But I think I already mentioned. I'm not sure, Imran, if you will also ask the question originally. Um, Let us know. Let us know either through the Q&A, or let us know via email, or even let us know through chat for a specific reason as to why you're trying to block the users from accessing the dashboard. And maybe it's something that we can plug into the roadmap in the future. Maybe something that we can do. For now, I have to be honest, we haven't been asked this by other teams, because everyone's quite happy with just being able to kind of block according to roles, um, and being able to see that information that's already needed. So, but definitely, again, let us know via chat kind of a more detailed explanation as to why, and we'll look into it.
Perfect. I guess that's good enough. Hopefully that's good. Let us know again. Thumbs up, you know the drill. I believe that approvers are now able to print out their own department's leave balance reports, saves admin running these reports for each department. Okay, I guess that's a general comment by Diane. Yeah, that's true. I think approvers are able to print their own departments, right, Kat?
They are able to take a look at the departments, but as just an approver, you aren't able to yet access the reports. This is something that we do want to allow. As for the actual users, again, you can definitely take a look at all of their information, which is something you couldn't do before, without having to go through without having to go through the admins. You're able to take a look at their history and all of those things. That's something that we definitely introduced as an improvement, and we gave a little bit more, let's say, power to the approvers over time.
Hope that's good, Diane. Then the next question is by Diane again. How can different amounts of vacation time be saved per user? It seems that you can only assign a set number of vacation days, such as 15 or 20. He has his set to 15. So each year, everyone defaults to the same number of days, and he has to manually change all the users that have more than 15 days per year.
Okay, so when you're editing the user's quota on their profile page, just make sure that you're actually applying it for future years. So what's probably happening in this case is when you go to the user's profile page, you may be actually just changing the quota and selecting the no option, and then you're basically just changing the quota only for this year. If you select you want to apply this quota for future years and you click on yes, it's going to update this year and all of the upcoming years. So if this is referring to that kind of different quota, that's definitely the option you want to choose. Um, but again, if this is based on seniority based accruals, this is something that's going to be automated in the next couple of months. You'll be able to use that in the complete plan.
So Shauna asks another question. Where are we emailing when we want to provide further explanation to a question or request?
Oh, Shana, can you where are we emailing? That's the email address, Kushi, if you can just add the hello at
Yeah,
vacationtracker.io
got
email
you.
address. Yeah. Or you can send us even a message via chat. That's perfectly okay. We're also available there as well. So it's also an option.
Came from the webinar. Hold on, give me a second.
Please.
All right, yeah, so it's on under Shauna's reply, but we'll drop out the email once this is over as well. It's hello at vacationtracker.io. Just very simple, very clear. So the next one is by Christine. She says, I don't need this at this point, but are you working on a way that if an approver will be on vacation, there is an ability to set an alternate approver? Or will this fall to the admin to cover any offer submitted while the approver is away?
So currently, my suggestion would be to always make sure to set up kind of a second approver on that department, so that if one approver is away, the other one will also receive the request at the same time and just respond if the other approver is away. That's the current workaround that I would suggest. As for if we're working on that, for sure, it's something that we want to do. It's on the roadmap. You haven't been the only team that requested it for sure. So something we want to introduce in the future.
So yeah, I guess that concludes all the questions we have, unless anyone else has any other questions they'd like to drop into the chat. Yeah, Shauna just says that Imran says it's for privacy reasons, and Shauna says that the question about users not having to be access, she understands because she doesn't like the fact that the user is able to see everything as a default setting. So
Okay. Okay. And we can understand that. I mean, that also goes um uh to the view. Um and even in this case, Shana, I would also ask for you guys to let us know kind of what you would like the user not to see, only because what we have is a feedback usually, especially in the demos, especially for any new teams that come in, but even companies that have been with us for a very long time, is the fact that everyone is able to see all the information. They're able to see who's going to be away. They're able to see that calendar. They're able to see the different teams and kind of plan ahead, and be aware of who's away, and not having to stress out about that. So since vacation tracker is kind of based on that idea, and that's always our focus, we're very, very careful to introduce a feature where we're kind of blocking views. Not to say that we wouldn't do it. I think that it's something that we have discussed already, and that's something that we may introduce in the future. But we also have to be very careful as to how we would do that, and how that setup would work. Since again, like I said, vacation tracker is quite open when it comes down to approved leave information and the visibility. For that reason, that you're able to kind of say, okay, I can have all of the information myself. I don't have to go through Excel spreadsheets. I don't have to go through, kind of not understanding who's away, and how to plan my own days. So again, it's a little bit different from where our focus is. But if you guys have a little bit more details on what you're trying, what you're making sure the users don't see, and kind of give us a little bit of a reason why, something that we can possibly think about for the future for sure. And again, when it comes on the feature requests, we're very open about any feature requests, even if they may not be something that we have an idea for, in the next year or two. Maybe it's something we're going to be able to introduce in the future. And even if it's maybe something that doesn't quite match what we're doing right now, if we understand the background of it, and if we understand why that is, it really, really helps us kind of clear up, and think about how we're going to introduce that, or if we're going to make that kind of feature in the future. So definitely always give us more information about that, and we'll discuss it internally. It may not be something we can do right away, but we can always talk about. We're always happy to hear for the feedback. So if that's it, and from what I can see, also that is the end of the questions. Thank you guys so much for everything. We're definitely gonna send you guys an email after. The video of the recording is actually not going to be emailed automatically, with the confirmation email that you're going to receive after the webinar. But we are actually going to post it on our webinar page, and that's where actually all of our office hours information is going to be for the future. And we'll let you guys know via email, though we can definitely let you guys know via email where that link is, and you'll be able to see that and review the video. That's really basically it. Again, thanks everyone for joining and for being here. I'm so happy with the success of this. Like we got so many questions, and we had so many attendees, and everything was really great. If you do have any ideas for any companies that we should reach out to, or if you would like to refer any company, definitely let us know via chat, via email. We'll and let us know if that company does reach out to us, to also know that they're coming from you as a referral, so we can maybe we can send you a gift or something like that. All right, guys, thank you so much. That's
Mhm.
basically it. I think, Kushi, this was a pretty successful office hour.
I would say so too. As long
Yeah,
as everyone took away something useful from this, I would say it was a successful event. So thank you so much
yeah,
again for coming, no matter which time zone you're from, and we'll see you at
yes.
the next one.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Bye.